back to Roadside Nuggets, everybody. My name is Georgie Boy. We are definitely winging it today. So today is Tuesday, November 2nd. We are 2 days out from the 4th of November where we're going to have the Scorpio new moon. So that's going to be a powerful punch. Just going to start off the day with that one. We're still halfway through Scorpio season. And I was sharing about this yesterday. This is definitely the part of the Scorpio season where the things that have already come up to the surface, we've already begun process of transforming and going through the changes of that. This second half part is where it goes into effect. We start finding the spot where that fits. So you're walking around with new stuff now. You've gone through a new metamorphosis. Some things are falling off. So you got some new things to look at and work with in yourself. So now what do we do with it? Where do we put it at? Where do we apply it? How's it going to look and feel for us? This second part of the Scorpio season is where we start having the experiences and the opportunities. The doorways start opening up now because we're ready. We're prepared. We've gone through transformations and sheddings to make us ready, prepared for the next level and new experiences coming. So as we are nearing that point and getting ready, everyone, you definitely, again, stay grounded, stay centered, drink tons of water, keep flushing everything out, stay clearing yourself, being in the sun, grounding, you're reflecting on yourself. These moments are literally like a micro to macrocosm type effect. Literally everything that is done within the season, it magnifies tenfold, and you will live those lasting effects throughout the year until the next season. So this literally is where the layers, the change, and the deep death and rebirth process happens, where you really recreate yourself and your life. And again, for that to happen, we have to get rid of the old, the different issues, our problems, behavioral patterns, the traumas, the different fears that we have in life. And as we remove these things, we start to see ourselves and understand ourselves in a whole new way. There's parts of ourselves we've never experienced in our entire life. They've been dormant the entire time because since we were children, growing up, life has been traumatic. We've been suppressing and shutting down the entire time we've been growing up. So by the time we've gotten to this point in our life, looking back, it's actually, we've gone backwards in a lot of ways. So when we start opening that up, start taking the layers off, the things we will find, what you will see in yourself, you haven't seen it before. It was hiding. It was growing in the darkness there, definitely. It's real. But we had to get through the lies and everything that we let cover it up. And now we're starting to see that there is more to ourselves. There's deeper parts of ourselves we never really allowed to express or really worked with or really experienced. I remember different parts of myself when I was waking up that there was almost like a deja vu thing. It's like literally gaps in my life where literally it's like, who am I? It's like this interesting question you ask yourself where you look at your life, you look at your experience, and it's like literally you can start to see beyond. You can start to see beyond that whole, lifestyle that you really just dove into, and you start asking yourself, is this really it? Is this everything? Is this all life has for us? Does it not get any better? And you start asking because you're not satisfied. You're looking at this life as we have so much convenience and on-demand things and instant gratifications, and still, why do we have so many of those, and why do we have to have constantly new ones? Because nobody's satisfied. It's this endless consumption, needing more and more and more, because the old gets bored really, really fast now at this point, and we need something new now, but yet we don't want to change ourselves, so we want other things to change. Isn't that funny? We externalize that and try to force the external to change so much to entertain us, instead of changing ourself, which will change it for the better, right? We're trying to go backwards. Instead, everyone's trying to run from their internal self, run from their internal truth, and try to get it out there. It's like what you find out there is not even a scratch off of anything. What's inside here, this is everything. This gold. There's nothing you can replace it with, nothing you can substitute it with, nothing you can cover it up with. Nothing will satisfy you. You will go on hungry and thirsty continuously until you stop and realize that this is the only thing that's going to fulfill you, your soul, your heart, what you love, what brings you joy, your feelings. And as you start clearing that stuff out and start making headway with that, and you start finding in the clarity, because you're clearing it, that things don't seem as dim and grim like they did before. It's not so scary. It's not so not so like intimidating anymore. I'm starting to find peace, right? So like as the Scorpio season has been going on, and as we've been moving through, so many layers and clearings have been going on. So this is where again we start finding to put it into effect, apply it, and this is gonna bring a new tone of peace, of you're not gonna really say happiness or joy because we're a long way from what that true vibration or frequency is. But definitely, it's similar to that. It's definitely more along the lines of that, from where we're at. So definitely of a higher vibration, more of a reassurance that there is more coming. It is gonna get better. There are better days ahead, and you just have to keep pushing. So as we start finding the avenues for these new parts of ourselves to go into effect, step into them, be brave, be courageous to show and express that new form of yourself that's always been there, and start allowing yourself to bloom and open up more and more. This is going to bring you a lot of peace. It's going to bring you a lot of, some type of joy internally, where it's more of appreciation for yourself. Finally understanding that there is more to you. You have more to offer the world. It's not always about chasing somebody else's dream or doing what other people want. It's like there's more to you that you ever gave credit to. And now that you're finding it, now that you're uncovering it, it's magical. It's amazing. It's like an adventure. Like a little child on a treasure hunt, and every corner you turn around within yourself, there's something new that you didn't see there before. A new way to see through yourself and that you didn't have before, and it changes everything. It changes your experience, how you can understand and how you can live through that. And that's priceless to you because it's something you can constantly do. It's not a one done thing where it's like, okay, got to go find something else. No, once we start mastering these parts of ourselves, they are continual processes that we can apply to anything and all things. And this helps keep us stable and foundational, but at the same time, give us trust in ourselves to be able to be stable in any situation. And that's priceless. You have a whole collective that's so docile and been traumatized and suppressed. Imagine if we could flip that in the whole population that was very squeamish and very skittish, all of a sudden we could flip it and then they were strong, courageous, brave, standing in their empowerment and truth. That would be a completely like night and day picture from where the collective is now, right? But we're getting there. Everything is a transition. It has to move into that. It doesn't just snap overnight like a coin toss. It literally has to move. It has to progress. So all the different little moving parts, which are all of us humanity, every single role, every part has a high purpose to get that process to shift over, right? So it's not about stepping on people. It's not about trying to be better or trying to compete or anything. It's like literally we need everybody that's here anyway because that's why they're here, or else they would not be here. They are important to this process and to this role so we can get everything on the timeline to move forward, right? So again, this is definitely, it's not really about, going through this like, sorrowful, melodramatic, spin. It's really about, these are the parts of yourself during this season that you've made peace with yourself so far. Okay, you're not going into the drama or the wars or anything. These parts of yourself that you've worked on enough. You've gone through enough reflections. You've understood yourself enough with it, where you're done with the broken record. The constant loops over and over and over again, day after day after day. It's like one of those things where you're just like, okay, I wish this would just get over. Like you don't really feel anything about it. It's like oh, okay, I'm ready just to be done with this. Move forward. That's that energy right there. Where it's like you have excavated quite a bit of it, and if you just push a little bit more, you might have a breakthrough. Because that's what it feels like. If you ever get to the bottom of a bucket or something, if you ever get to the any tub, ice cream. Let's use ice cream as an example because everyone loves ice cream. If you get to the bottom of the ice cream, right? What does it feel like? Like when you're scooping the bottom, it's like you can feel the bottom of that tub hit the spoon as you're trying to scrape that ice cream and get it all out. It's kind of like a very hard, gritty. Doesn't feel like it would be a very comfortable process to be in if you had the spoon and you were the bowl and you were just like scraping yourself, making sure you're getting everything out and make sure it's clean, right? That wouldn't really feel like a good process. But that's what a lot of what this process is like, is getting it all of it out. nothing left. We're cleaning it. Okay, this is not going to be another problem we're going to come back to 2 months from now. This is it. We are cleaning it. And a lot of times it might not feel like a comfortable process to go through, or something that you can easily surrender to and allow yourself to be, present in, but you got to do it though. Because you have to intellectualize, you have to understand that this is part of that process. We're scraping it all out. And there's a lot of this that I have attached to. There's a lot of this that I've controlled, I've held on to so tightly that, of course, as it moves out, it's going to feel uncomfortable as it pulls away, right? Because that makes me recognize my attachment, how much I was invested in that external item or person or situation. And as that pulls away, it shows me how much my energy I was externalizing in that, right? And so really the feeling uncomfortable, that not feeling good energy, is not really what's happening. It's really about you realizing how much of yourself you gave away to something else. And that's kind of that feeling. You're like whoa, like whoa, and you don't want to accept it, right? We got to get through it. We got to push, because this is where we start claiming the different parts of ourselves back and step fully into more of our divinity, and also help embody more of our higher self, right? You have to raise your vibration and consciousness, and I feel, the streams going forward, I'm going to start getting more basic, processing. I'm going to get more basic on different things when it comes to, just energy and talking to the angels and different, like, you got to understand everything's possible. Everybody is capable of all of this, but at the same time, you have to apply yourself, but also you have to understand what you're doing, okay? And everything is energy. Simple. I will help you all out so quickly. Everything is energy. One, we all know this, right? Vibration dictates everything in energy. What that frequency is in the energy is gonna dictate what that energy can do, right? Is it a high vibration? Is it a low vibration? Where's the frequency at? What's the vibration of it? And so these different things going on in the body, I've shared this a couple times before. I've used the crystal as an example. The traumas, the fears, the pain and sufferings we've been through in life that we've lived through, that we've been through constantly multiple different times, they're ingrained in our body. The cellular memory holds all this information. The story, what happened, how you felt, how you handled it, everything, how you still feel about it. Everything is written as codes in your cells. And so definitely as these things get triggered, as these energies are coming in, and as you're having experiences with other people, and these experiences are creating triggers. You're having conflicts and arguments and resistances and all these different things with different people. All of it is to trigger that stuff that's still in there and to get it out, right? So, and even if it doesn't make sense, everything's vibration. So moving through these experiences as these things are happening, to trigger it to come up to the surface, when you start releasing it and start feeling that energy, all you got to do is remember to change your energy, change your vibration. As your cells are releasing part of that cellular memory, this will be good. This will be easier way to help you understand. As your cells are actively, thank you angels, confirm, releasing the cellular memory in that moment, as you are triggering, in that moment, push to change the vibration. So as the cell is releasing the old codes and information, in the middle of that release, you are also recoding it. While it's open and releasing, you're recoding it with a different vibration now. You're rewriting it. So that's how we are processing and transforming the trauma and the different frequencies and blocks in our being. Is like you go into it, you feel, move into it, be in that energy, and then while that energy is releasing and coming up, you move that to a different vibration. You can do that a lot of times easily with crystals. So one way I showed everybody is just having, physical contact with a crystal, or having friction, like rubbing your finger on the crystal, literally. It creates a kinetic type of energy where it starts to amplify the energy circulating through your body. Okay, so say I was super triggered. I was like really pissed off, and I was mad. I was explosive. In that moment, it felt like in that energy, and I went and picked up like a citrine. And citrine is really powerful and strong with the solar plexus energy, and dispelling negative thoughts and lower frequencies away, and really pushing the energetic field, the aura of the body to a higher vibration and actually maintaining it. It definitely maintains that kind of boundary line with certain frequencies. It's kind of like the sun. So definitely it's really powerful in radiating that bright, sunny, definitely uplifting, a cheerful kind of energy out in its radius. So if I was really pissed off and I went and picked up this crystal, immediately I can't make the crystal change its frequency or vibration. Right? It's gonna still be its same, whether I'm me or somebody else picks up, it's gonna be the same energy vibration, right? So if you're in that state or in that vibration, in that mood, it's hard for you to get out of it. You go pick up the right crystal or the stone, and that stone's vibration is gonna not combat, but it's gonna clash with your frequency or vibration you're stuck in, right? So what happens in energy, whenever a higher vibration comes in contact with a lower vibration, it forces the lower vibration or frequency to rise to match it, or it pushes it away, right? So in that case, if you're stuck in that lower frequency vibration, right, and you go work with a crystal or pick up a stone that holds its vibration, permanently, then that's going to cause a clashing of energies, and it might feel disturbing, or at least, definitely to people it's interesting with experiences. It depends on how sensitive you are. In a lot of ways, like there's many different modes where I'll feel like extremely uncomfortable if I went and did something like that, because of course it's going to clash your energy. It's going to like immediately be a polar opposite to your energy to help push you back into balance, because where you're at in the spectrum, you need to move back into that harmony, right? So takes an equal powerful force sometimes to move that energy back, because you're so stubborn, you're so stuck in it, it's so attached, controlling, or you're just gone in loops for so long, you don't even know how to get off the wheel anymore, right? And so that's definitely where like I have found profound progress and just amazing expansion healings, just working with crystals over the years, ever since I started waking up and like learned that like crystal, because I used to go to it was a place in Texas called Inner Space Caverns, and there was like this mine that you could go down into, and you could mine crystals and stones, and they had like all these different things where you go and wash it in water and see what stones you found in the dirt and stuff, and it was really cool. But I had no idea. I was just fascinated with the colors, like the different colors and like the way the rocks or crystals looked. However, other than that, like I didn't know that they had any kind of like spiritual or energetic properties or value to them, until much later in life. And I realized, like, I think I was trying to figure out how to like calm down one day, and I was just like researching something, and I think I was like trying to find something about like yoga or meditation, and then I think I found an article that was talking about crystals or stones, and like when you do the meditation or yoga work with the stone, and I was like, what is the stone gonna do? Like, it's like, you're gonna look at it, right? I literally was so like oblivious to it. That's how bad it was. And then so I was like, all right, I started looking up stones, like what's the purpose of this? And then like just being blown away that literally like all these different like properties and just like all these things about stones and spiritual and physical and all these helps with the emotional system, the mental system, all like I was like, what? I was like, you're telling me a stone does all this? I was like, that's freaking amazing, So definitely that blasted me away. I was hooked and addicted and obsessed with stones and crystals for years and years and years. I came to mission with tons of them for Mom and the team, and it was just like the highlight of my life. It was probably one of the first big things in my life I ever did for myself. Honestly, with just not even gonna go into it right now, but definitely one of the first things I ever really chose and did for myself in life was that. It wasn't really a hobby. It was more of like that was everything. Energy healing, working with crystals, teaching other people, talking to people about it, going to the crystal store and being lost in that big store for hours, and touching every single stone and crystal. They had massive ones that you couldn't even put your arms all the way around, and you could hug them, and big quartz crystal benches and sit on. It was literally like it was my dream. It was like living in a dream. And a lot of times going to that store, and I never wanted to leave. Everything I saw, it was all beautiful. I wanted to take everything home with me and like put it in my room. And definitely I encourage all of you, especially those of you who are working through trauma and different things. Crystals are powerful healers and helpers, and especially if you, and again, this is where it gets you, because you do have to put apply yourself. You have to work for it. So if you're a lazy person and you don't like to research, you don't like to inform yourself, then it's going to be kind of a harder thing for you to really advance pretty far with and understand, because definitely crystals and stones, they are amazing, teachers and powerful friends to have with you to work with, but definitely there's a lot of research and learning about them too, because they come from all over the place of the planet. They are formed of different properties and minerals inside of them, which changes the vibration, the structure of the stone and the crystal, which means it changes what it can do, what it's capable of helping and doing with the energy, whether it's something deeply internal with your emotions or something it's purely physical or of your nervous system. They're all specific, and there's so many. And so literally allow yourself to like go into that childlike wonder and just like Brent's like, wow, like just go into it. Definitely I was convinced very much so at one point early on when I was waking up that like crystals and stones was the way we were gonna heal the world. Like everything was gonna be remedied by crystals. Don't need pharmaceuticals, don't need that. Just need crystals. And I was like, man, I went so hard at one point for crystals. It was crazy. But yeah, it was beautiful. They're very, very beautiful and powerful assisters. And for everyone that's like definitely working on trying to understand themselves with like your spiritual abilities, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, like all of it, everything's energy, everything's vibration, right? So it's not something that's just going to turn on and start working one day for you. You have to start working with your body in a new way. Start understanding your body in a new way of how your body actually works. And that way you'll understand how that works, right? Your spiritual gifts that work through your body. So if you understand your body, you can understand how something's working through your body. Understand? So moving forward, definitely, the different experiences, the sensations in your body. Crystals, I'm telling you, is one of the easiest, and that's why I feel I'm going to really push this and probably do some segments on it. Crystals definitely, they are powerful supporters for you. The ability to change your vibration, your frequency. I used to do this technique, definitely, and this has helped me a lot with a lot of. I've struggled a lot with rage, with a lot of control, and like this very explosive energy. And definitely have like a very strong energy with Uranus too, and that is that very massive like explosive energy that changes. It really moves energy very quickly. And so if I'm already in a lower, then that's just really hijacked and pulled into that explosive, extreme, I don't know, powerhouse, I guess you could call it. So like working with that and learning how to like what that energy feels like. What rage feels like. What anger feels like. If you take any, frequency that you usually is your average, usual, common, frequency you get stuck in or you usually have problems getting out of, right? What that feels like. What the experience is like, the sensation of it, right? So if you pick up a stone or crystal, or if you work with the elements, if you go put your hand under running water, if you go sit by a burning fire, if you go outside and sit on the earth, on the ground, or if the wind's blowing really hard, you go stand out in the wind for a moment. If you know what rage and anger and hatred feels like, you feel that, you're stuck in it and everything, what that feels like. The minute you go and connect to any one of those energies, you will feel a shift immediately in your body. Okay, your whole energy will shift because now there's a new energy being introduced into your field, right? encourage you next time to do that. Like next time, you're overwhelmed, you feel stressed or flustered, just go to the sink, turn on the water, and put your hands under the running faucet of water, and just have like cup your hands like this, like upside down prayer, like kind of cup it, and let the water just kind of fill down the middle of your palms, run through it with your hands like in a prayer, right? And it's good too because you're not praying, but with your fingertips connecting and touching like this, you're creating a circuit of energy. So as this energy is circulating through your body, it's getting cleared at this point between your palms by the running water, right? So you've just created a circuit of energy through your body and also the portal point for where the water is going to clear your body, right? So very simple and easy. Just next time you feel the energy moving, go to sink, hands of the water, do that, and you'll feel it immediately start to shift. It's like you feel like this like blanket kind of rubbing your back and your body, and then everything starts like kind of like going away for a moment. You're just like, wow, right? So start using tools, so to speak. This is what we would call tools, like the elements, crystals, and stones. They are tools that are helpers for you, and this is where we learn to support ourselves, help ourselves, right? It's instead of like needing someone to do it or wanting someone to do it, it's like, what tools do I have that I can assist myself with to support me in this process? That's even more powerful. That's even more just inspiring, that you can show up for yourself and you can be prepared, and you have so many access. You have access to so many different outlets for tools and supports to help make your journey and whatever you got to do more simpler. That's amazing, right? So I'm going to jump over here on the horoscope for today real quick before I forget and move forward. So for today, November 2nd, 2021, you should feel well rested and refreshed this morning. As the Libra moon forms a helpful aspect to Saturn, these vibes can help you get a productive start to your day. So try to embrace the work that lies ahead of you. Unfortunately, some wild frustrations may manifest because communicative Mercury engages in a harsh aspect with brooding Pluto. The energy from this cosmic connection could bring a cerebral element to the day, stirring up insecurities or issues from the past. Avoid confrontational power struggles. And watch your words now, because they have the potential to really hurt someone. Don't get caught up in pleasing people or putting the needs of others before your own right now, because an opposition between Luna and the healing asteroid Chiron could cause frustration or resentment if you do. This afternoon, surprises might throw you off your game when the moon forms an unbalanced aspect to wild card Uranus. Interesting, I didn't even know that was in this. Bringing some unpredictable energy to the table. As the day comes to a close, look for ways to relax and reset after a hectic morning and chaotic afternoon. Yes, much of the day may have thrown curveballs your way, but the night brings a quiet peace. If you're in a relationship, this is a great time to seek comfort in the arms of your special someone. If you're single, use the night to give yourself some serious TLC and pampering. Beautiful. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful. We are 2 days out from that new moon on the 4th of November 4th, And then, of course, on November 6th, the angels are still pretty set on it. I checked earlier this morning, and they confirmed that it's still pretty set in place. So, around November 6th sometime, that day, definitely that collective grief, the collective energy of grief is going to get triggered. It's going to pop off. And so that's going to set in motion. It's going to be it's a big, what I call, like when I see energy and read it, I would call this type of energy, I would call a long range energy. When I see this type of energy and perceive it, it's one of those energies that when it hits, it's a long range one. So it's going to be in effect for quite some time. It's not going to be a powerful, explosive day. It's not going to be a long week. It's going to be, that energy is going to build. It's going to be an undercurrent for long moments. And whatever is going to happen, astrological along the same lines with that energy is going to affect with it and merge. So it's going to be a powerful key player. And so that energy of the grief releasing means that it's going to hook up not only to the collective and releasing that emotional part, but it's going to hook up to the physical experience too, which means we're going to see a lot of movement in the physical experience in our lives, in our human society, that's gonna trigger off the grief. It's gonna allow the grief to release. So whatever that's gonna look like and what that experience is gonna be like, for what we experience and what we start to see in our in our country or whatever, that's gonna allow us to release the grief now. So something's coming, something very, very powerful is coming, and definitely I feel that's a prelude to what else is going to begin as well soon. And definitely from hearing Hope and Aurora's stream earlier, I definitely encourage y'all to join that stream and watch it. Powerful nuggets in that. In that stream earlier, they were talking about definitely some Aurora was talking about certain planets that were coming up in the next 2 weeks that definitely are going to be key power players, and a lot of physical events that will take place for us. So it definitely lines and confirms what I was sharing earlier, and just what I've been getting through with the angels about November 6th, and why that's so important. So again, this is why everything's been pretty hectic and just a lot of shit's come up, so we can clear it. So that way we are ready. We've got a more of a clearer plate. You can put some more food on. You can handle some more stuff on your plate. You're not trying to scrape everything to get some more room and then take on more. It's like, no, you've done some work. You've cleared a lot of stuff. Congratulate yourself. Pat on your back. Okay, don't stop though. Don't get too comfortable and start to relax, because we still have to keep going. We have to finish this race and continue this metamorphosis process that we're going through. So again, definitely powerful moments coming forward for everybody very, very soon. And definitely the energies of today and then tomorrow definitely are going to trigger a lot with the external receptivity. So the things in life, this is more of the energy for this evening going into tomorrow morning. Is more about the external receiving, what you are, externally denying, what you are blocking out externally out of yourself, keeping out, distancing, denying, not able to receive that or accept that for yourself. And this moves into tomorrow's energy. And that'll be a big energy for tomorrow, which will be a lot about the finishing part of that process. So more around the root chakra, the right sciatic nerve, right side, masculine side of the body, where that's going to be more about, the letting it go, surrendering, letting it go, allowing that to move, to the sun, so you can have the higher flow in, forgiveness, peace, allowing yourself, not to identify, not to be attached to those things, because it's not who you are. And therefore, that's a big part of the healing process that we're about to step into. And that's a lot of why I feel the grief will be triggered here in a couple days too, to assist with the ending part of that process for whatever is releasing within us. Definitely the grief is the deeper parts of the sorrow, but we're so, most of humanity is so superficial and surface, very, go external. It's taken a lot. It's taken almost 2 years of a COVID pandemic to push everybody in their house, get everyone to sit still for a moment, look at yourself for a moment. It's taken 2 years of that, and everything else is coming to the surface to get people to finally get to this point where they've slowed down so much. You look back before the pandemic broke out and for all this stuff was going on, how fast everybody was zipping and shooting everywhere and everything like that. And then once a pandemic came about, and now everyone's like phobias and virus, what, breathe, what, people dying, what, then everyone starts slow down. You're more aware. You're looking at everybody. You're paying attention, because apparently something's going on that people are dying from. It's funny how the experience has to change, or what has to happen to literally grab the collective's attention and get them to pause for a moment. It could be whatever. It could be whatever it looks like. But the intention, the purpose is to get the collective to slow down from where they're going, so you can redirect the collective in the right way, right? That's gonna look like a freaking crazy marathon, insane run. You try to catch a whole population mid-run one direction, hey guys, over here, over here, come on, this way. You're gonna spin them out. Some people are gonna go that way. Some people are gonna get stuck. Wait, there's people going that way, and there's people, but where do I go? It's no, that's not how we do it. So we gotta slow everybody down. And that's really what the last 2 years has been really about is, with slowing down. Like, that's how we, at the beginning of the year, and like the angels just love to push this funny. Like, at the beginning of the year, finding children in a tunnel. Like, how the fuck do we get that? Where's that come from? Pulling children out of a tunnel. Like, it's like, I was so mad about that. Like, that I went through so many layers of triggers and explosive rage over that. But it is sickening. It's very sickening that's part of humanity did that. That's part of our existence. We've allowed that to take place. But anyways, back to topic though. But, definitely. So a lot of that, the fight or flight mode, a lot of the lack of stability and not being able to, surrender things, let it go, be yourself without it, even if it's pain, be able to be yourself without the pain. Because that's also another side of it, that people get addicted or obsessed with their pain and suffering to where it becomes their identity, who they are. And they don't know who they are without it because they've lived their life so much entrenched in that dysfunction, and just choosing to be that. Like, every conversation you talk to them about is all this and that. Is like, it's just all obsessive and fixated on their problems and their pain, and definitely this is another part of it that has to get stripped away, and learning that you are not that. You don't need that. There's no shouldn't want that, because there's no right or wrong. You get the experiences you need to learn and grow, and that's totally, divinely given by God. However, with, that experience and moving forward, you have to have some kind of spectrum, right? And this is why, like, again, of course, forgiveness and, compassion, because just because you've been there before, just because you've mastered that, you've learned that, doesn't mean somebody else should speed up quicker because you're already there. So you're impatient that they're not there already with you. It's like they weren't on the same experience as you. They were on the same path, and so having the compassion and realizing that everyone is not you, even though we all are each other, and that the experience is necessary for a reason, right? Everything right now is just like, it's like a painter's palette. You got all these different colors everywhere. Nobody really knows what's going on. It's all kind of, spaced out, a lot of different unique things going on, but nothing's really put together, right? This is kind of that process right now. We're not really painting the picture. We're not creating 5D yet. We got to get the people who are going to build 5D together. And we are not even right yet. We're not even like together. And, we're just like a bunch of bobbleheads running around, bumping into each other, pissing each other off, and having little cat fights, In order to build something, you have to have the builders. In order to have the builders got to be there, present, ready, prepared. Our builders are not. We are not ready. So therefore, it's not really focusing on the world or all the amazing things that can be in the world. It's about focusing on how we're going to even get there to that point. It's by the builders, us. So that's the middle point in the process, is us. Not the world and all these different amazing things that we can have and do and that are coming that we can fantasize about and just be stuck in our head all damn day thinking about. No, we're the middle point of that process. We got to get us online, and then from us, then we can bring that in. But we cannot bring that in, glory and amazing heaven on earth. We cannot bring that in the shit that we're in right now. No, that's not going to work. You know that. Everybody knows that, right? So, got to pull up our Pampers, got to be big boys and big girls, and we got to just go to work with ourselves, apply ourselves, and start digging and getting everything out and allowing ourselves to see the truth, okay? So again, be grateful that you made it to this point in the Scorpio season. I told y'all it's going to be rough, and it's about to get really, really intense too as we start to learn how to apply ourselves in these different ways, because the experience is going to change. The moment you make a different choice than you have before, the moment you allow something to shift, it changes everything. Literally. It's amazing. It's literally like magic. And we have gone through enough preparation to make big changes. So as those are now finding place in our life now, we are figuring out what to do with ourselves, how to move forward with these different transformations, the things we've forgiven, people we've forgiven, things we've let go, things that we have cut ties with, that we are no longer going to allow ourselves to move back into in depravity, poverty consciousness, victim consciousness, allowing things to be, overwhelming or intimidating all the time. Maybe, what, after living the last couple of years intimidated by life, instead, after living the last 5 years of my life and anxiety and stress, you know what? I'm going to finally see what it's like not living that way. I want to know what life is like without anxiety. I want to know what life is like without rage. I want to know what life is like without disappointment and depression. Because you've been living it for so long, you fought with it and struggled with it for so long. It's like, you ever wonder what life would be like if it wasn't there? What your body, what you would feel in your body if that was not there, mixing in with the rest of it. How different everything would be for you. And that's a lot of what it's like as we are removing these layers and these these density blocks within us. We're transforming our egos. We are literally going through that process. We are literally removing those filters, and we are beginning to see what life is like for us without that block in the way, without that mountain always there that we have to always climb. Now it's not there anymore. It's a brighter sunny day. You can feel the wind for the first time. It's freaking amazing, right? It will literally change the scenery, thus changing how you feel, thus changing your motivation, your passion, your inspiration, and what you're prepared to do next. And you keep going at it, you keep doing it, it builds momentum, you keep motivating yourself, you keep pushing, and you keep going further, and you keep leveling up. Wash and repeat, keep continuing the process, never give up on yourself, don't stop. It will always get better, it will always get brighter, and you will always learn and grow more. Never will you go backwards if you put your effort into it. Never. Okay? So trust yourself, love yourself, honor and respect yourself enough to invest in you. Okay? All your dreams and your wishes, everything that you want to come true in life, the things you want to create that you imagine about, is that you have to be willing to believe in them. You have to be willing to trust that they're your dreams, they're your ideas. Why would they come to you if not you were the one that's empowered to put them forward, create them, express them, share them with other people, work with other people to put them into life, right? You don't just get ideas all day long for nothing. God doesn't sit there and just create beautiful imaginations and dreams and just push them around for people to oh, that's nice, that's cool, that's nice. Okay, back to my TV. It's like, no, it's like, that's inspiring. It's motivating. It's like, let's do it. Let's put it together. Let's create that. Let's work together to make that a reality. So it's not just an idea floating around. It's real. You can touch and feel it. You can experience it in real life. There's so many things that are coming that we have. Get ready, humanity. So many things are about to get ripped off our backs, and it's going to help us feel lighter, thus also making us feel more available, right? If you feel lighter, if you don't feel so overwhelmed and not so overburdened, you feel more emotionally available to deal with something, right? And that's a lot of what this energy has been doing, is taking the stuff off your back, literally coming through. And I know the first 2 weeks and the weeks before Scorpio season started, it was rough. It was really nasty at some points. But that's why we needed to get all that stuff ripped off of us and pulled off to make us lighter, because now that we are here, almost 2 weeks out, by the end of Scorpio season, and 2 days out from November 4th, by the time we hit that collective grief, you're going to need to be emotionally available for yourself and other people in order to go through a process such as grief, right? Makes sense. So as we are moving through this experience, again, be grateful, forgive, and let go, and feel blessed that we've pushed and made it through this crazy roller coaster ride to this point today, and everything that we've let go of, everything that we've expressed and went through, the pops, the spins, everything, the fights, all that. Thank God we made it to this day, and that all of that now is gone. And we were going through, we're stripping away, letting it come out. So finally, we can breathe for a moment before Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Angels corrected me. Not. um, in 2 days, the Scorpio new moon starts on the 6th of November. So 4 days from now is when the collective grief will get triggered, right? So that gives us a couple days to sit in the space to get that breather from all the crazy like stripping away and stuff, and then really like get this deep presence going. So by the time that that grief triggers off in the collective, the emotional availability will be there already present within us, and we'll be motivated to go through that. And a lot of the energy that we have built up, the transformation things we've been going through the last couple of months and weeks, is going to add a momentum to not only November 4th, but also the 6th. So by the time we tap into that grief, the momentum we picked up by moving through these transformations is going to push us. Like, it's almost like you've seen the movies where like a speeding car goes off the highway and dives into the water, and it's like this massive splash. We need, as a collective, we need that momentum crash, so to speak, into grief, because once we touch that energy, it's going to be a reflex. The angels are sharing, it's going to be immediate reflex and trying to pull back and resist. And so by us coming flying off a launching pad, basically, from the energy we've picked up the last 2 months with these portals, it's going to completely come crashing into that grief energy, which is going to help us as a collective make headway. We're going to get deeper into that grief before we start realizing what's happening and trying to pull out. But by that time, it's too late. We're already in the process. We're already going through it. So this is why it's absolutely necessary and highest for us to go through these energies and surrender and allow, creation to do their thing, because we got to get through it. There's no way we're going to reach deeper levels of peace, of forgiveness, of joy, or just like, safety, feeling amazing, happy, if we got all this stuff in the way, right? You ever like been in like a really, really dirty house where there's stuff literally everywhere all over the floor, like a hoarder's house, right? And you gotta like tiptoe, you gotta step over things on all the different clear spots on the floors, you don't step on anything. And that's what it's kind of like living inside your own body with all that those blocks and the shit in there. It's like you're tiptoeing, you're literally stepping around gunk and piles of junk, trying not to step on anything. And it's like you're doing this weird motion through yourself. It doesn't feel good. You're not happy. It's like all this extra work. You have to sit there and like, you see, that's exactly what it is. So we got to get it all out. Wipe that floor completely clear to where it's like open. You can breathe. You can see what's going on. And you know where you're going when you're walking. So it's a lot of the process we're going through right now. So definitely trust yourself, trust your angels, allow yourself to surrender to the experience going on. Everything is for a purpose. Everything is for a reason. Definitely. I think tomorrow I'm going to talk more about PTSD. I've been uncovering a lot the last couple of days. I made a massive breakthrough 2 days ago, and I've been just reveling in just everything that's been coming up and I've been seeing since. So I'm going to put it all together and definitely do a stream tomorrow about it. But wow, just absolutely phenomenal. And just the state that I've been in for the last 2 days, the enormous peace and just like the fight or flight mode that I'm usually used to and how my body usually responds and reacts. It's very fascinating just seeing how quickly things change the moment the energy moves and how differently your body can respond after, because it's not in the way, literally. So definitely cool with that. I love you all. Definitely. I'm going to draw a card real quick before we go. And then that'll be end of stream. All right. So for today, number 51 for the ammo card, Sandpiper Spirit. Interesting. I've never seen this kind of animal before, or this card, but it goes exactly in what we're talking about a little bit. But it says be playful. That's cool. So it's like Sandpiper bird. Kind of looks familiar, but I'm not exactly sure what that. I've never seen that in real life, I don't think. Those are like a really long, skinny, interesting looking beak, almost like an anteater's like mount thing, like that elongated thing where it sticks it down the hole and eats the ants. So I don't know. It's fascinating. So So 51. 51. 51. Dun, 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 dun. Be playful. So sandpipers are like cute little clowns, poking their beaks into the sand before darting off to chase the waves. The appearance of sandpiper's spirit is a sign that now is a time to engage your playfulness. Whatever a task you have before you, perform them with a lightness of being. Explore the familiar, discovering the new and the old. Who knows what treasures await you when you let yourself laugh and have fun? Sandpiper's spirit's happy and curious nature can help you to feel rejuvenated as you remember your ability to run and fly and dance playfully. When your heart is heavy and life seems to weigh you down, Sandpiper's spirit's message is to lighten your burden by finding joy and humor in the everyday. Become like a playful child, filled with curiosity and wonder, and soon you will find you feel your own spirit lift. A few minutes or hours of fun-filled delight is exactly what you need now. Enjoy the ridiculousness of life and be willing to jump in. Let your inner goof out to express itself with abandon. Cool. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And then we got one more card. We're going to do a funny, humorous oracle card. Call these like the angel smartass cards. They give the energy back. Is like, it's funny though, but definitely sometimes it's in the tone we need to hear it in, because like, you know what, I don't like the tone, but you know what, I agree, I hear you. Yeah, like, I'm moving, I'm on it. So sometimes we need that, you know. So I like them. All right, pink one, they said. This one. All right. So they shared shame, regret, and guilt. Those are just bullshit. And on the back it says, forgive. Let that shit go. Okay? Exactly like what we were talking about with the ending part of the process, forgiveness, learning to let things go. So thank you, Angels, for being always on point about everything. Read that one more time. Shame, regret, and guilt. Those are just bullshit. Forgive. Let that shit go. Okay, I love you all. Let that shit go. Don't hold on to it. Let it go. Move through it. If you need moments, if you have to process, if you have to have space or boundaries or different things like that, if you need to, change the scenery or just, move on to something new, that's fine. But do not just sit in it and just let it just take you out. Okay, fight, push, be the light, be the love that you are, and trust in yourself. Believe in you. Okay. You're powerful. You're amazing. Trust that you are here for a divine purpose, and you wouldn't be here any otherwise. So, definitely, I love you all. Take care of yourselves tonight. We will be on live tonight, probably like late night, early morning. I don't know why I say late night. It probably is late night for some people, but early morning around like 2, 3 a.m. I'll be doing a Silver Lining podcast. Eastern time, so 2 or 3 a.m. Eastern time in the morning, I will be doing a podcast, Silver Lining. So for whatever time zone that is for you guys across the planet, for you guys and gals, thank you, Angels, across the planet, just hop on. It'll be fun. Definitely, we're coming up to the ending point of that segment too. I think we have probably 6 more episodes, and I'm going to change it to a whole nother chapter, and that should bring us some new different topics and subjects to talk about too. So pretty interesting. So I love you all. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Mountain Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Time with Buddha and Jerry for morning live stream, and I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon. Okay, I love you all. Take care of yourselves and stay grounded. I